In this video, I'm gonna show you how to make epic music for the game League of Legends.
Oh, look at the class, look at the moves! Faker with a huge...
This is just a practice exercise to show you guys my process on how I build my epic orchestral music. So if you wanna get your music into games, adverts, TV, movies, then this is one of the best ways to get good at it. And you're in the right place, so keep watching. But of course, before we get into it, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, as it does help the algorithm out and it helps YouTube show this video to more music creators like yourself. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first step is importing your video into your DAW. And how I like to do this is, once you're on YouTube and you've found the trailer or music video or advert that you want to grab. Right now we found a League of Legends trailer, and what you want to do is copy and paste this URL, bring it into Y2Mate. This is the one, this is the hack. This is a YouTube to MP4 converter, so you can grab any videos that you see on YouTube and download it straight to your computer. All you have to do is paste that link, press start, and then you want to convert to MP4 and download it to your computer. Easy, super simple. And once you've got it on your computer, what you want to do is in your DAW, my choice of DAW is Logic. For Logic, you'd have to go to File, go to Movie, and then go to Open Movie. And then you can just open your movie into your DAW, into your project, and now you can build some crazy cinematic orchestral music to your visuals, which is here. Really dope, really cool and simple. Next, what is very important is finding the tempo of the visual with no music. So how I find the tempo is based on feeling. There's no other way I can put it. There's no hack or cheat code for this. It's mainly to do with how the visuals make you feel. And what I usually do is watch the video and you'll feel a BPM that is there, like in a head bop. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a BPM and it's a tempo that you can kind of see while the visuals are playing to you. So for instance, if I'm just playing this portion of the League of Legends trailer, like right away, I've kind of got this pace because of the edits in the video, because of the action, the colors. I guess you have to kind of practice that feeling and feeling that vibe and feeling the tempo, but you kind of get it straight away. So what we're gonna do right now is just figure out a tempo. So let's put the metronome on, and I was kind of like around there. Oh, kind of nailed it. That was 123 BPM. I think I want it to be a bit faster, so I'm gonna go for like 130. Nice, so 130 is where I landed it. One thing to remember is the faster you go, the more energetic and the more action-packed a visual will be. The slower you go is more like emotional, uplifting. Okay, so let's start cooking. So what I like to start off with is some short strings. For this, I'm going to use Short Strings by Fractured Sounds. This is a really cool plugin. Oh, and this is a free plugin, by the way. So if you want to try this plugin out for yourself, I'll leave links in the description below. There's actually going to be a few free plugins that I use, because free plugins nowadays are super high quality and they, you know, straight out of the box, they work, they give you the sounds that you need, and they're free. I like to start with minor chords to start with, and I like to play a minor chord but arpeggiated. So right now let's pick something like A minor, which is, you know, A, C, E. So I would just pick a pattern that is not too complex and that's just playing along the A minor chord. This gives it tension and it gives space to build something underneath it later. So we're just going to start with something like, I would only record like 4 bars and just copy and paste that pattern. This is a foundation to kind of build your song around. So you don't want to go to too many notes. You want to keep it, like I said, I'm keeping it to the A minor chord. It just sounds intense and it suits the visual. So I'm always looking back at the visuals to see if it's suiting, because, you know, if it was more happier, with the visuals, it doesn't really suit. It should be a bit more epic and a bit more, you know, action-packed. I keep saying action-packed. So now we're happy with our string layer. We want to layer that with some horns. Horns for power. And for horns, I like to use the Vienna Synchron player, which is from Vienna Symphonic Library. And they have, again, a bunch of free plugins. Like, these plugins are so high quality and they sound so realistic. They shouldn't be free. But if you want to try this for yourself, I'll leave links again in the description below. I like to use their Big Bang Orchestra, which is, it just sounds epic. So we're just going to go into Big Bang Orchestra. And I like to play some short notes, some rhythmic horn phrases, something like, just sounds so good. So they have a bunch of articulations that you can choose from. That was what I was just playing there, is long notes. But they have marcato, which is long and hard, pause. And what we're going to use is their short notes. So okay. Think of these like punctuation marks in your score. So you want to kind of pick rhythms that aren't overdone. They don't fill out the whole song, but they just create moments where you can kind of synchronize it with your drums later down the line. Yeah, this again, picking and deciding what notes to play. For me, no cheat code, no hack. It's all down to feeling. What is the visual making you feel? Where is it going? What can the horns do? Every instrument has to sing its own melody, right? So you don't want any instruments kind of overlapping each other too much. And that comes with practice. So next up is one of my favorite parts of creating music like this is the drums. The drums are like the energy and the heartbeat of the track. And for this, I like to use Damaged Drums by Heaviosity. If you're looking for some dope orchestral drums, Heaviosity have got the sickest, the most insane drums. Just sounds straight out of a Star Wars movie. It sounds straight out of a Hans Zimmer composition. I just love Damaged Drums because straight away you're getting that feel. And when I'm making music, I do want to use plugins that just give me a feel straight away. So I'm not spending, hours trying to make that sound perfect. That can come later. But for now, when you're just getting your ideas down, you just want that. You want that power straight away. So yeah, Damaged Drums is perfect for cinematic impact. So what I'm gonna do is just, play some patterns until I'm happy. The drums shouldn't overpower the whole song as well, but it does need to be more than the strings and the horns. It is the rhythm of the whole song. So let's try and figure out a pattern. Something like that. Let's copy and paste that, make sure everything's in time. We can always turn this down so it's not too overpowering. And I'm happy with that, but I do want more. And how I get my drums to knock even more is splice loops. I use some splice loops and I usually type in something like orchestral percussion. It comes up with a bunch of cinematic percussion loops that you can kind of layer underneath your original drums. It just gives it more of a cinematic feel and it makes it sound more full. And this is why I think, when I make drums, they sound so out there and so insane and wild, because I'm actually layering really high quality orchestral drum loops onto my original drum. So let's have a listen to some of these. Sounds so epic. Ooh, yeah, that one. So this is just gonna add some extra punch to your music. So all we're gonna do is just drag that in there. And that's at 120 BPM. So let's time stretch it and make it go to 130. Put the volume down because I know that's gonna blow my ears. And what I usually do also is add some extra percussive orchestral impacts. Something like, just to add here and there to just give it a more triumphant feel. So let's just drag this one here, move it into place, put the volume down. Oh my God, that just sounds crazy, bro. And the reason why I chose these impact sounds and these kind of rolls to go where they are is because I'm kind of hearing the punctuations in certain instruments. So I'm kind of following the horns here. So if I solo the horns and solo this, you just have to emphasize on certain moments, certain choices that you've made in previous instruments. And that's what can glue your whole music together. And we can add more things later down the line. So for now, I'm gonna leave it like that. And now it's time to make it feel even more big and dramatic by adding some epic choir moments. And for this, I like to use another free plugin called the Audience Choir by Jacob Collier. Again, you can open this up on Contact. It's from Native Instruments, but it's by Jacob Collier, who's, if you don't know Jacob Collier, you need to know Jacob Collier. Where have you been? This is called the Audience Choir, which is a real sounding choir that he has recorded from all of his tours. And it just sounds so epic. Just have a listen. Woo! Another free plugin. I'll leave a link in the description below. Feel free to try it out and download it for free. It's awesome. So what we're gonna do is find a pattern that works. The choir is not overpowering at all. Minimal, you wanna keep it minimal, and you wanna just choose gaps in between. Find the right spaces of where you think this instrument should sit. So let's play out some ideas. Something like that. I'm just gonna heighten the higher end of the EQ just so it can shine a bit more and cut through the mix a little bit more. That is sounding so epic. But my favorite method of making my own real choirs with my own lyrics is using controller voice. And this is where I would stack and record all of my vocals, bring them into controller voice and swap all of my vocals for any of these royalty-free voices. And this is really key because what makes a really huge choir is different voices, different textures, females, males, children. If you put all that together, you'll get a really huge choir sound. And so I like to use controller voice. This just gives me more realness and more flexibility. And if you want to make your own real choirs, then I'll leave a video right here where I show you how to make a huge epic choir using your one voice with your own lyrics and using controller voice to swap your voice. So now we've got some epic choirs, it's time to add some full orchestra chords. And for this, I like to go back to Vienna Symphonic Library, VSL, Vienna Synchron Player. We're gonna go to the Big Bang Orchestra again, but instead of the short notes that we played earlier, we're gonna use marcato, so hard and strong notes and chords. That sounds lovely. But since we're in A minor, I want to experiment with some chords that give it more drama. So we don't have to, you know, if we stayed in A minor, it might be fine. Let's try it. But with the visuals, it just doesn't go nowhere. So I like to find progressions that kind of take the visual somewhere and take the listener on a journey. So instead of starting in A minor, which is the root note, let's start with F minor, F minor. Epic, I just went F major, C, D major. It's kind of like drama, but also uplifting at the same time. So because I was working on a 4-bar loop, I didn't just want to loop it. I kind of wanted to make the next 4 bars just a bit more progressive. So I started with F to the D major, and then we went F again, G, diminished, and then the same chord but with an E right at the top, so it's just a bit more intense. Those are the type of choices that I use in my chord progressions. I always have a 4-bar that is kind of like, that could be looped, and then I kind of take the progressions up and higher to get to an endpoint, a drop. Oh, and by the way, if you want some epic chord MIDI progressions, I've got a free MIDI pack. Again, it's free. No charge. You can download it below. It has a few MIDI chords that you can just drag and drop into your DAW, chords like this, and you can just play with the MIDI, use the MIDI and use it to start your new songs and compositions. But here's what really can level up your music: cinematic effects. Again, I love to use ready to go sounds and samples, and so I always kind of go back to Splice because they have everything. They just have everything there for you, and it's so easy to search. And for this, I usually search cinematic impacts, and you'll get sounds like, whoo, ooh, yes. I always love the sounds with that swish, that like reverse sweep at the front. And so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna drag a few samples in and add them in moments where you feel it needs it. Okay, that one sounds like that one kind of sounds like a snare, so I'm gonna kind of act as if that is a snare, and we're gonna find a space for a snare. We're gonna put that snare, that big sounding impact snare, on where that choir hits. Huh? It's like on the offbeat. We can do it again if we wanted to. Yeah, maybe this second one we can make it a little bit more quieter. This is another thing that I like to do. I like to kind of make, you know, certain samples quiet and loud just so it gives more dynamic and it makes it sound more real and they're just not on the same volume. That's what kind of makes the music. Yeah, let's put that right at the end. Harder. But one key is to not overdo it. One or two well-placed effects is gonna go a long way. And now that we've got that full orchestral chord progression, one thing I like to do at the last part, the last 4 bars or the last 2 bars, is change up the kind of original drums that I had here to make it kind of build up and have more intensity and rise towards the end of the song. Now we have, you know, screeching riser. We do want to kind of complement that with the drums. And these drums I just kind of looped earlier, but now we have more of a full song there. It's always good to kind of change up stuff and add, you know, and edit some of your drums that you initially, and I kind of just want it to kind of be on the beat. To emphasize on that, we can kind of do the same with the strings. So those strings are a bit loud, so let's just use some automation, some volume automation. Automation could be another video in itself. Simply put, if you automate volumes and expressions, can allow the music to breathe more. So in this example, I'm just gonna take the strings down and probably, you know, make them crescendo, make them go louder and rise louder towards the end. And then we can do the same with the horns. So now that we have all of our layers and all of our instruments, our effects, our drums, now it's time to arrange our song so it just starts from small and builds to a climax and ends on a high. Now, I could do a whole video on arranging, but what I like to do and what you've just seen me do is create a loop. And now we have all of the elements and all of the instruments and parts that we need. I've just arranged this quite simply. I've got the strings kind of coming first, and then I've got the horns and drums, and then the choir comes in, and then I use this rising impact sound to kind of go into the chords, the final bit, and it just ends on that high with the drums going faster and faster, resulting into this. And that's how I make epic music for games like League of Legends. Once again, if you want to try any of the free plugins that I went through, I'll leave links in the description below. And if you felt inspired or this helped you in any way, feel free to hit that like and subscribe. Oh, and if you want to see me build an epic choir with my one voice, feel free to watch this video right here, where I show you how to make huge real choirs with just your one voice. Trust me, it's insane. See you on the next one. Peace.